By the end of this video, you'll be able to AFK farm in Mighty Doom without touching your phone for Battle Pass tokens and loot for your Slayer. I've even included a low-level example to push the limits in case you don't have a lot of gear to see what's possible. So let me explain what you want to watch out for and how to use this build. First of all, you see I'm standing at the top of the room. It's not that simple. There are a couple problems that can result in the arena, and let me show you what the gear is, how to use it, and why. So, I have a heavy cannon, and I want to get the best one that I have. This is a rare level 56 that I used. You can also use a chain gun if you have it. The shield is very nice, but the heavy cannon is just so consistent to shoot across the arena and hit everything and kill it very, very fast. You want to go for max health upgrade perks if you can, because they'll just help you survive longer. Damage boost, bounce is S tier if you can find it on your heavy cannon. It's one of the best. Twin shot, any kind of side spread shot, anything for damage and health. Now, beyond the heavy cannon, I've tried the burst rifle. It's no good. The chain gun is mid tier. Well, what's next? Why do I have level 1 gear here? Well, the super shotgun, we're not going to use it. You can put anything you like in this slot. It's good to have super shotgun in case you want to meat hook to stun lock bosses. If you want to move around a little, up to you. But I just put it here because, yeah, whatever. The Unmaker. This is interesting. You would think you'd want to use a BFG, right? And you saw I just went through the Sentinel and I got some just perks there. If you need to heal, heal there. That's top priority, is having as much health as you can going into each of the next arenas. See, I just completely decimate the Razor. We have the Unmaker because, yes, when you fire it, you get a short invulnerability. You also do it with the Chainsaw and the Crucible, but you can sometimes get the Made to Last ability at the start of your battle for the Unmaker, which is a 20% damage buff resistance against you, which is amazing to have. So I didn't actually get it in any of my runs, but that's okay. It's still something. Standing up here at the top, you see the blocks, they matter not to me. I just shoot right through them and I have access. The beautiful thing is if you do have to move, if you feel a little nervous, which you won't have to, you only have to move left and right, horizontal plane. You don't have to go up and around all the enemies. You can run in for the GKs if you want, but as you can see, this is way more than enough. The Slayer suit matters too. We'll get to that in a second. But the Unmaker is important too. I have Acid Spit to reduce the enemy's defense so I can kill them faster. If you have something like the Arc Grenade to weaken their attack, that's fine too. You can use whatever you want, really. Don't stress out about the grenade too much. Ice is fine to slow them down, whatever. Okay, I'm using Classic Slayer. You can use any one of you that you like. I use Mini Slayer level 10 for my low level attempt, which was a little scary. But I'm using Classic Slayer because he has the most health, and he still gives you a little bit of damage. He has an all-Slayer damage resist perk, and he also has his ability of after taking damage, gain immunity for a short duration. And you see that sometimes. I don't know if it hits all the time. If you see a little yellow bubble around your Classic Slayer, that's what it is. It's your immunity right there. So you can see here there's a couple little guns on the top, and in my low-level run, I ran into a problem to where, see, I get spread shot here. The Razor was behind the gun, but I couldn't shoot him, but I kept targeting him. I shot ice bombs over at him, but it wasn't enough. So you want to stay away from the guns, go to the other side of the arena if there's a little bit of blockade. Zombie, no worry there. Okay, so what's up with the right side? This is probably one of the most important things you can do, okay? So first of all, you want to go down here to the bottom right. These are your 3 priorities: your heavy cannon, your chest, and your boots. Let me explain why. Now, if you don't have the same gear that I'm using, that's okay. This is just the most optimal, so that's fine. Just use what you have. Use this if you have it. Demonic Chestplate. Why? Max this out as much as you can next to your boots if they're epic. So get the best bang for your buck. Go one by one on your upgrades if you have to and say, all right, I get a lot of HP for this much money. Do as much as you can. I would have upgraded them more, but I ran out of tokens. Get a huge health boost from your chest plate, and you also have a 4% damage resist. Now, you want to be hit with a lot of ranged attacks, so therefore you want to have that damage resist for all of the attacks, not a melee 15% that another armor gives. This is the best piece to use. Get a bunch of health from it, get damage resist. Looking great. Okay, Demonic Boots. They have a ton of health that they give you, so you definitely want to use that, and a melee and projectile dodge chance to be able to avoid the fire. So you see here, I'm still standing at the top of the room. It is just fine for me right here. There's a lot of leeway that I have with my build. Now, this is important. I switched these out, and it made about 1,000 damage difference. Exultian Helmet increases damage. Now, what you want to do after you maxed your heavy cannon, that's priority number 1, max your boots and your chest plate as best you can. Then you want to go over to your helmet and your gloves. They get your leftovers spread apart equally because they're about equal upgrades. You want to go as high as you can with Exultian Helmet because it gives you more damage, as helmets do. They're not defense, they're armor. They're actually offense. But as you see here, we'll get to this in a second, the Prowler just completely gets shredded. Just stand there. All your shots are going to go around the arena. It's fine. If you need to move, you can, but as you see, it doesn't really do that much damage to me. The Exultian Helmet has a 16% damage buff for rare, so I definitely want to have that. Make use of it. So we want to use that one. If you want to use like a UAC helmet, you can. I'll get to that in a second why and explain it to you. Demonic Gauntlets give you 60% extra damage. You want all the damage you can. You can also use attack speed if you have those helmets and the gloves. That's fine too. Either one works. If we go down here, really any helmet works. Critical damage is fine because you'll hit some crits. No worries there. After firing your secondary weapon, so if you want to take the UAC helmet, just shoot off your secondary from time to time to get that boost. Doesn't make you AFK, but that's the only way to get it. Any other helmet, fine. Gloves, fine. Attack speed for Cultist Gauntlets works really well if you have those instead. If you don't, that's okay. Again, UAC Gauntlets, it's a secondary. You know, if you want to fire a secondary, that's fine. It kind of kills the point of being AFK, though. Up to you. That's why Demonic Gauntlets are best in Exultian Helmet, because they just give you straight up damage. You don't have to do anything to trigger them or toggle them. They're just literally there to give you damage. Now, another thing I really want to point out with this build here is that I'm using my masteries. I can't change them. I can't alter them for the build. I've got some maxed out. I have 52 of them because I'm Slayer level 54 at the time of this recording. Whatever you have, you have. You can't change it. But ideally, you have a lot of bulk up for health. You have glory kills don't really matter. Damage resistance, ideally you have a high level of that. Damage dealt. Any of these are great. Upgrading on a level up, any of these are great. Now, Mancubus, you see here, he goes over pretty quickly and dies out. You can stand right where you are. You can go to the opposite corner if you want, because he doesn't really hit you with this flamethrower if you're far enough away from him. I learned that, which is really pretty cool. But it's a pretty smooth build. Now let's take a look at the low-level Slayers to see what they do, in case you don't have quite the gear that I have here, which is completely an overkill for that matter. It's crazy how well this works. You don't have to, again, you don't have to use this exact same gear I'm using, but this is the optimal gear. If you have a UAC helmet, that's fine. But the problem is that needs your secondary to be able to do extra damage. So if you're going to use a UAC helmet, you need to take some kind of secondary you can fire off from a distance, like I said, the SSG, whatever. This is a problem right here. If you run into this arena, you'll see that I'm soaked in on him on the heavy cannon. I'm sometimes shooting an ice bomb over top to be able to try to get him out. But if I'm AFK, I'm not seeing this. So you might need to step in. If you have a stronger build, you could probably muscle your way through. Honestly, if you see this gun room right here, you should probably go to the bottom where the saws are. There are no types of guns to block your view right there. So slightly different. So this is the point where I say, hey, maybe I should spin it around a little bit, see what's possible when you move around, but I still want to stick to my guns. So the thing you want to do if you still have to move, you don't go left or right, easy. You don't have to run around the arena, try to dodge like crazy. You only have a horizontal plane that you're working with when you're using this. You only have left and right that you worry about. You don't have to go up and down and around. That simplifies things. You're out of the range of the poison guns there. You only have to worry about moving left and right. If you take a hit, that's okay. If you move a little bit, you're still able to go get the glory kills if you need to. You still have the Unmaker you can use to get yourself out of a sticky situation because it gives you invulnerability while you're firing it. So you do have options, even if you can't go full-on AFK option here. Check out my next build guide here. You're going to love the high damage and everything about it. My name is Austin. Subscribe for more, and thank you for watching. Come to the Discord if you want to learn more strats, by the way.